Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you found us. Here at DiamondTrail Ranch, we share real life tips about backyard ducks, goats, chickens, gardening, and just simple homesteading on a small scale. If you're dreaming about a more self-sufficient life, or you just love seeing animals and farm life, you're in the right place. So stick around to the end and check out our other videos. We have entire playlists dedicated specifically to one on gardening, one on our equine, one on our goats, one on our chickens. So make sure you check out. They are packed with beginner-friendly tips to help you get started faster and easier. Also, new videos do drop every week, sometimes multiple videos a week. We'll even get a short out every day or do a live every day. I'm still kind of working on the scheduling with that. But every day there will be something, whether it's a short with an update, a short with a new tip, a beginner-friendly hack, or a live video on the ducks, a live video on the goats, a live video on the horses. You name it, it's something will come out every single day. So make sure, again, if you're new here, if you like what you see, hit the notification bell. Make sure you click all, and it will ping you with a notification for free. It doesn't cost anything. To let you know when we've provided new content. So stick around. Today we're going to be diving into one of my favorite parts of homesteading, raising ducks. Whether you're thinking about adding a few backyard ducks for eggs, for pets, or just for the pure joy of having them around, this video is going to be packed with all the essential tips and tricks you need to get started the right way, guys. We've been raising ducks for a while here at DiamondTrail Ranch, and we're starting to get it figured out, right? Trial and error. Everybody starts somewhere, right? Whether it was when you were younger or later in life. On this little farm, I'm excited to share everything I've learned, we have learned, including a few things I wish someone had told us here at the beginning. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's talk about ducks. So your breed definitely is going to matter way more than people think, especially where you live. Some ducks are great for eggs, like khaki Campbells, Indian runners, Welsh Harlequins. You'll see a lot of the Indian runners and Peking here actually in various mixes. Others are for meats, like the Peking I mentioned. Great for that. If you're looking for self-sustainability, get into the meat industry, right? The egg industry, the milk industry. Some, like the Cayugas and Ryoons, are just backyard beautiful companions. Here at DTR we raise these Pekings, Indian. I was gonna Indian runners, but I was also gonna say, made me think of that mid-thought was, we actually we'll take in rescues of various animals too. I'm gonna have another video on that, but I'll sorry about that caveat there. It just made me think about that with the breeds. Our duck breeds here have been awesome for eggs. They've been awesome for pets. Do you have kids? They love ducks. Who doesn't love ducks, right? They're cute, fluffy. They'll hang out with you. Depending on how much you hang out with them as kids or spend time with them, you'll just get pets out of your animals. But don't get too close to them, because what happens when it's time to eat, right? So picking the right breed will save you a ton of headaches later on. When you bring home baby ducklings, you're going to need a warm, safe brooder, which we do have. The big difference, ducklings are incredibly messy. They are way messier than chicks. They splash, they play in the water, they soak everything. You'll see in this video, if you just add a little bit of water to anything, they will turn it into a mud pit. It's just the way ducks are. Heat lamps work. They work great, especially if you don't get, depending on the time of year for you guys, if you're hatching in the winter time, you're going to need lamps. They don't just work great, you're going to need them. Always hang them securely, obviously, and give ducklings enough room to move closer or further away, depending on what they need and the kind of room they're working with and how many you have in there. But but make sure they can all get to it. Watch them. If they're huddled up, your ducklings, it's too cold. If they're panting and running from the heat, it's too hot. You'll see some of these ducks panting just from the sheer standing in the wide open, even under in the shade. This is Florida. It gets hot. It's spring. I think it's in the early 90s already here. It hasn't rained maybe once this whole month. That's a whole nother, spring showers, spring Mayflowers. I think it rained once this month. But we have irrigation and watering systems. Hopefully you have some form of making sure, an ability to make sure they have water every single day, multiple times a day. If you're thinking about vacationing, this might have just became your vacation, a staycation. These animals are, they need love, they need attendance, they need supervision. Ducks they don't roost like chickens. They like a low, cozy shelter that keeps them safe from predators and dry at night. You don't need anything fancy. A secure pen, you can see here in this video, with hardware cloth or, depending on what kind of animals you have. Inside, you can give them, bedding, mulching, straw bedding, depending on what kind of roof you have in there. Something to keep, what you're doing here is you're keeping the ground dry for them as much as possible. So we'll go in and just add in, a layer of mulch, spread it out, thin it out for them, make sure there's a layer for them. They don't want to walk around in that nasty sop. You know what I mean? Would you? Nobody wants to walk around in that. So, and the goats too, especially. That's a whole nother video. Ducks will smash down anything you put in their way. So they need about 4 to 6 square feet per duck inside of their pen or coop. 10 to 25 square feet each inside, in their outdoor area, which is like you see here. More space is happier, healthier ducks. Which is kind of ironic because these guys, they huddle up on each other regardless of anything. They're herd, they love each other. Make sure you give them water. I threw down some food for these guys. That's what they're kind of picking at. Get some playing and stuff with each other. If you learn one thing about ducks, out of this whole video, ducks need water deep enough to dunk their whole heads, and there's a reason for that. Ducks need water deep enough to dunk their whole heads, because that's how they clean their nostrils and stay healthy. That is the key, the absolute key. Regardless of what animals you get on your property, ducks absolutely have to have water deep enough, I'll say it again, so they can clean their nostrils and stay healthy. They have to have that. Chickens don't. You don't have to have a pond. A kiddie pool works fine. Most people with the backyard setups have kiddie pools. You can get a rubber tub, a deep bowl. Just make sure you're keeping an eye on it. You can go out there, fill it, let them dunk, and take it back, But make sure you stay on top of that if you're going to do that. I imagine if you're getting into ducks, though, you probably are well aware of needing water already. What is that, number 5? Ducks are pretty hardy. You do have to watch for a few things with them. You'll see in our videos here, we have a couple of gimpies. They are limping. They're doing fine though. You can get bumblefoot. It's an injury on their feet if they're on any sharp surfaces. We free range them. We let them out all day, all the time. We put them away generally at night for predators and safety. So they get to walk around on a couple acres here. There's angel wing. These are common issues. The bumblefoot I mentioned about the feet injuries. This is angel wing. What happens with angel wing is they get too much protein when they're growing. You need to feed them a balanced diet. Read the bag, guys. Don't just grab the cheap stuff. Please read the bag that you're getting them. Ask your local supplier, what's best for this breed, what's best for that breed. Maybe if they're getting something specifically or you're on a budget, maybe you can supplement with something else to whatever they're lacking in that they're not getting in their main diet. You can't just throw down last night's pizza. Ducks don't care about that. They don't like that. Parasites are big. If you live somewhere super wet and warm, this is Zone 10A here in Florida. We're super wet and we're warm. Chickens can help with those nasty little critters too, though. So that's a whole nother great thing about backyard homesteading in general. kind of get a little bit of everything, right? Otherwise, you just keep your ducks' space clean, you keep their water fresh, you give them a place to sleep, and you'll probably never have an issue. But really, they're not high maintenance. Ducks are not high maintenance. They're pretty food, water, a clean, dry place, and they're happy. They keep to themselves, really. They do have a social life. They have personalities, and we're going to talk weather. Ducks are social. Never get just one. If you're going to get into ducks, do not just buy one. Don't go down to your local auction and buy just one duck. If Uncle Betty over there has one duck and he found it, get another one. They don't like to be alone. They have huge personalities. Some are bossy. Some are shy. Some are total hams on the camera. Look at these three. Cute. The Pekings are super cute. Pekings are one of the cutest ones. I think when people think of a duck, they're probably thinking, when kids think of a duck, they're probably thinking of Peking ducks, right? Fluffy, white, pretty ducks that are happy, or Donald duck, you know. That's weather-wise, though. I did mention ducks can do very well in the cold. They actually do better in the cold than they do the heat. And here in Florida, or hot climates in general, if you're looking into it, like in Arizona or something, or Southern California, make sure they have plenty of shade, cool weather. I'm sorry, cool water, cool weather too, right? And good ventilation. You want to make sure they have good ventilation. You're probably wondering, how long do ducks live? If I get backyard ducks, how long are they going to live? Typically 8 to 12 years if they're cared for. Some can even make it to 15 years. You know, you start playing with time there once you're creeping that high. Do you think that ducks need a pond? They do not. You can see right here, they have kiddie pool, and they have a kiddie pool over there. In the far left corner there, you'll see in a little bit, they have an absolutely gigantic tub. We built a ramp for them to go up and swim and hang out. And we actually have a hose and a clamp that comes off at the bottom. We drilled a hole, and we use the duck water as irrigation. If you're thinking about getting backyard ducks, you should really look into getting a garden set up too, or if you got any dead spots in the yard. This is great because the other animals will appreciate the grass too. Duck water is a great fertilizer for grass. So what you can do is you can hook up a hose to your pump, or get a 5-gallon bucket, and the stuff that they're sitting in only takes like 1 or 2 days, literally. Start scooping that stuff out and spreading it around. It's not too acidic. It's not like chicken. It's not like direct chicken poop or rabbit poop. Duck is great. It's thinned out in the water. It's liquid, so it's obviously been diluted a little bit. It's great for that. You're probably wondering also about duck eggs, right? When do the ducks start laying eggs? Most ducks start to lay around 5 to 7 months old, which is very young. You need to be careful with your bigger ducks and your mixed breeds. They can hurt each other depending on the breed and the season. That's our setup over there with the giant water area I was telling you, and the ramp that we made. They go up and down. Make sure they can get in and out, because these guys can't fly very well. They eat out of that trough right there to the right. It spreads out. When you feed them, try to, spread it out a little bit. Those are Pekings, so the food, they're not on top of each other. Our ducks are happy. They're very happy. You can see, you can have different breeds intermingling, coexisting, living the dream, right? How many eggs do ducks lay each? Well, it depends on what you have, really. Khaki Campbells can lay about 250 to 300 eggs per year. Guys, if you get ducks, you're going to have a ton of eggs. You're going to have a lot of eggs. We usually actually have more duck eggs than chicken eggs, and there's a couple things going on there. We simply can't hold on to the chicken eggs fast enough. That's what everybody wants. We like to educate people on duck eggs and the importance of duck eggs and a healthy diet, and how it is very similar to chicken eggs, nutrition-wise and flavor-wise. It's just more dense. It's more nutrient dense. I'm actually going to make a video that helps people understand, because I think I get asked this like every day. Why duck eggs? What's the difference? That's not what people are thinking about, you know? So, another cool one a lot of people don't know. Are ducks noisy? Well, you tell me, right? Females can be pretty chatty, little chatty Cathy's, especially breeds like Pekings. Males in general, which are called drakes, are usually a lot quieter. It depends on the breed and the individual duck. If they're loud, again, they're probably female. Can ducks and chickens live together? Absolutely. You do need to be careful though. If you have drakes, they can literally kill your hens. Ducks are messier with water. I recommend giving them separate drinking areas at least, or you're gonna have mud everywhere, all over the place. What do you guys think is the best bedding for ducks? As I mentioned earlier, you can do straw if you have it. Mulch is probably one of the easier things to get. Mulch works fine. It's not going to hurt them. Pine shavings. A lot of these big box places have them. You can call your county. There's a lot of places that are trying to figure out where to dump their tree trimming services. You can call them and get it for free. That's what these piles are here on the property. It's free trimmings we use as mulch that they came and dumped for us, because they got to put it somewhere. Just avoid cedar shavings. It can be toxic to birds. If you're wondering how to keep ducks cool in hot weather, plenty of shade. They got great shade here. Wetting down the area in the afternoon really helps. Just remember, the ground will get muddy and gross. And you can do it in their afternoon play areas when they're going crazy. They love it. You can freeze peas for them and ice cubes as treats. They love that kind of stuff. Probably wondering if you can train ducks. Yes, you can train ducks. Ducks are very smart. You can train them to come when called using treats like peas and mealworms. It's pretty cool. What do they like to eat as treats? They love peas, lettuce, cucumbers, watermelons, squash, and bugs. Do not give them bread. You've probably seen people giving them bread in the parks, in the movies, or theme parks. Bread is actually bad for ducks, so don't give them bread. Great. Don't give them bread. What's the biggest mistake that new duck owners typically make? Underestimating how messy the ducks really are. They're clean animals, but they turn anything wet into a wet, muddy mess, like immediately. Did you know that ducks from different regions actually develop different quacks? Kind of like people, right? Different accents and dialects. A duck from New York might sound a little sassier than a duck from Florida. I swear mine have a southern twang to theirs, They get accents. It's crazy. A group of ducks on land is actually called a wattle. We all know about a flock of birds, right? What's a group of ducklings, ducks walking around on land? They're officially called a wattle. How cute is that, right? Ducks can actually sleep with one eye open. I have witnessed that here. Look at our friend in the water. They love the water. Happy, happy ducks. Ducks have this wild ability to sleep with one eye open, literally. Half their brain actually stays awake to keep watch for predators while the other half naps. It's pretty interesting. I wish I could do that during chores sometimes, right? That would be pretty phenomenal. We could just, take care of these animals with half our brain asleep while the other... There's 24 hours in a day. 24 is not enough. It's really not. You'll be getting up early. You'll be going to bed late. Homesteading is a lot of work. People think it's easy. It's not easy. They call it the simple life. Anybody that refers to these guys as the simple life is not involved in it. It's the good life, but it's not simple by any means. Ducks are waterproof. A duck's feathers are coated with a special oil that they spread on. It spreads automatically on themselves. Well, the ducks know how to do it. That's why you see the water just kind of roll off. It's really cool, It's like they were born with the best raincoat ever. It's really neat to watch them. You can spray water on them directly with a shower setting on your hose, and just watch the water just bead off of them. It's really neat. Like they have natural coating of Rain-X on them or something. The quack actually doesn't echo, right? Is that a myth? It's a myth, and it's not true. The quack echoes, guys. There's actually an old myth out there that ducks' quacks don't echo, but it does. It's just usually so quiet and mixed with other noises, people thought it didn't for many, many years. So... our ducks are very happy. Yours will be too. They love fresh water, fresh bedding. They're low maintenance. You get your 5-gallon buckets nearby. You use their water for gardening. They help homesteading in general. They really do. They take care of so many things for you. You take care of them, they'll take care of you. The circle of life is very real with ducks. Whether it's the meat, the eggs, the gardens, you name it. It's amazing the power of water, right? I mean, look, this guy's sitting in his fresh water, or her, she is. There she goes using the ramp. You can make... the cool thing about backyard homesteading is you can make anything out of anything. I see a lot of channels on here that talk about, you need the $600 coop from the big box companies that look like they can only support 2 chickens. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't need that. There's Rain. Hi, happy girl. We're going to show you around a little bit. Trying to find some of these other ducks. We actually have ducklings. You can keep some of your ducks, your duck eggs, I'm sorry, and you can get an incubator and you can hatch them. Very cool. And then you have you're adding to your cycle of life. You're starting from the same ducks. There goes the Pekings. We also have Muscovies on the property. We need some cleanup on the property. This is a daily, 24-hour, lifelong commitment. I don't hide nothing. This is the real deal. You're getting into it, you're going to be working. Here's our ducklings. This is an example. I'm going to, right after this, I got some fresh bedding. They're going to get some bedding. They have water in their water to the right there. Ducklings are very happy. These ducklings are very happy. Ducklings are adorable and packed with just all kinds of interesting personalities. They imprint on the first thing they see, so you do have to watch carefully with that. Ducklings, they bond really hard to whoever and whatever they see first. So, just like you've seen the movies, with ugly ducklings and things like that. If you raise them yourself, they'll think you're their mom. It's the sweetest thing. If you personally raise the ducks, they will think you are the mother. It's really cute. Here's our Pekings. There's Sandy May, our goat. She's happy. She's doing her thing. She's doing her Sandy May thing. Ducklings do grow super fast. Ducklings double in size every week for the first few weeks. It's crazy. 1 minute you got a tiny fluff ball, the next you're you got teenager ducklings. Let's see where these little Pekings are going. It's nice to watch them waddle away, waddle, waddle, till the very next day. Bum, 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 bum. Ducklings can actually swim on day one, but they're born knowing how to swim. Domestic ducklings need help staying warm and dry. In nature, you know, they have mama who rubs oils on them when they go under her. Without mama, though, they have to be careful they don't get too wet too young, because they don't quite have those oils from mama's feathers to help, like that natural Rain-X they have going on. Rain-X is not sponsoring this video. They have nothing to do with it. It's just an example of, so you get an idea of what's going on, because I want to keep you informed. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what you see. Come back for our next video. We'll be doing these again a couple times a week at least. We're just still kind of smoothing out the schedule, but I can guarantee you that we'll have a couple of videos at least. We're doing videos every day, whether it's a short. What I mean by doing videos every day is whether it's a short, a live, or actual, you know, long form content like this. So stick around, and I will give you guys more information every day. Thank you for watching. Bye, guys.